Welcome back to CBS Mornings, where you've heard us talk a lot about supply chain problems affecting your holiday shopping. But this morning, we have a story about a potential solution. At least one of the nation's busiest ports in Savannah, Georgia, says it is making progress on clearing its backlog of goods by using a new concept called a pop-up port. Facilities built inland to get cargo closer to retailers more quickly. Kris Van Cleave spoke to Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg about how that idea could help clear backlogs nationwide.
Rural Joiner's family furniture business, 24E Style, is feeling the pinch of supply chain delays. His Savannah, Georgia warehouse has about half its usual inventory.
So if I said I want this sofa today, when could I actually have it in my house?
So I would give you this sofa today, but if you wanted one special ordered in a different color or whatever it was, I'd have to tell you at least 6 months.
6 months?
Yes, sir.
That sofa is made in Dallas, but has components from China.
Where you had a seamless timeline before and something that was predictable is now unpredictable.
As your costs go up, what you charge your customers goes up.
Absolutely, I have to if I'm going to stay in business.
Joiner thinks the kinks in his supply chain would be worse if he wasn't a 15-minute drive from one of the nation's largest ports.
How out of whack is the supply chain right now?
What we're dealing with is completely unprecedented. We're still catching up as a nation to what happened a year and a half ago when Asia shut down.
Griff Lynch is the executive director of Georgia Ports, which runs the Port of Savannah.
What really has to happen is we've got to grow all of the pipeline. That's going to take a long time to fix. I think we're talking about 2022 being a tough year again.
Savannah longshoremen are working 24 hours a day to clear a backlog of shipping containers. In mid-October, the port had 31 ships waiting offshore. That's down to 6. At its peak, containers were sitting here for nearly 2 weeks. It's down to 7 days, but that's still 75% longer than normal. The port set up what amounts to 4 inland pop-up ports like this one. They were unused rail yards that expanded the port's container capacity by 10% while putting cargo closer to retailers. For trucks delivering to Home Depot in Atlanta, a round trip becomes 70 miles instead of 440.
At the end of the day, we're all dealing with a parking lot. And when the parking lot is full, it's full. So the race for us is to keep the parking lot as empty as possible and keep the cars moving out.
But keeping things moving isn't easy right now. The nation is dealing with a shortage of truck drivers. The chassis that transport cargo containers are in short supply, and a lack of sufficient warehouse space.
Do you feel like you're playing whack-a-mole?
Sometimes it can feel that way when we're trying to solve these short-term issues that really reflect underinvestment that's happened over decades.
Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg says the Biden administration is now studying if similar pop-up ports could help ease congestion elsewhere.
At the end of the day, for folks who want to know when these most severe disruptions will end, the answer is very simple. They will end when the pandemic ends.
Until then, the Port of Savannah is expanding, adding more space for ships and cargo. Its enlarged mega rail terminal can now move 1 million containers a year by train.
Knowing there's a shortage of truck drivers, the Savannah port focused on expanding its rail service. These containers are all loaded on rail cars that are going to head to big cities like Charlotte, Atlanta, Chicago, Dallas. That's one step closer to getting products on store shelves.
For Rural Joiner, getting products back on the shelves will mean furniture sitting in people's homes, not his warehouse, delivered without further delay. For CBS Mornings, I'm Kris Van Cleave in Savannah, Georgia.
Looking for a couch, Gayle? Got one down there.
I saw a little Celadon green number that looked okay. That isn't comforting to hear Secretary Buttigieg say it'll be better when the pandemic is over, because nobody knows when this pandemic is going. We're going now, guys, into year 3 of the pandemic.
Year 3?
Yep.
No, it's the never-ending story, except not entertaining. Yeah.
Yep. We're going to be starting. Well, we started March 2020. Now we're going into 2022.
But we can go in with optimism, though. All right?
Can we?
Optimism and hope.
Okay.
We can. Yeah, we can. We can make that choice.
I actually do, though. And, Nate, I actually agree with you.
Yeah.
We have vaccinations. We have boosters. We are much better off than we were in March 2020. I actually do agree with that.
Agreed.
In the meantime, I'm scared.